Here in front of me is HP's actual latest Chromebook release, the x360 14C for 2023. It's the third time that they have done this particular Chromebook, and it comes right on the heels, kind of quietly, behind the Dragonfly Pro. And it brings a bunch of those high-end pieces to the equation for a few $100s less than that Chromebook. So it's an interesting device that over the years has been on sale a lot. It's really intriguing, and we're excited to have it here in the office and finally get hands on it to see what's changed this year. So let's check it out. But before we get into that, if you are looking for a USI pen for your Chromebook, you should really check out Penoval, who we've partnered with to give away 5 of their new USI 2.0 pens. If you aren't familiar with Penoval, they make fantastic USI pens for Chromebooks, styluses for iPads, and Surface devices that are well-built, stylish, and come with a really reasonable price tag. Their latest model, the USI 2.0 stylus pen for Chromebook, comes with some really awesome features like Usbc fast charging, a solid replaceable cone-like pen tip, enhanced palm rejection, and magnets for secure storage on many Chromebooks. So far, this pen has worked on every USI compatible Chromebook that we've tried, and that even includes the pesky USI 2.0 only Chromebooks, and things just work across all sorts of apps with no setup needed whatsoever. With an all aluminum build, this pen will hold up over time too, making it a constant companion even if you upgrade your Chromebook down the road. Bottom line, if you need a stylus for your Chromebook, we'd recommend checking out Penoval. Click the link in the description below to find out how you can enter to win, and make sure and do so pretty quickly. The deadline for entry is May 10th. Good luck. So, as I said in the open, this is a Chromebook that was just kind of quietly released. So the Dragonfly Pro was, the thing that everybody was focused on, and literally in the midst of that device kind of coming out, reviews going out, this one showed up, and it just kind of showed up at Best Buy as coming soon. And it's a Chromebook that we fully expected to see another of. So the x360 line has happened year over year, and it changed over the course of that time. But the last few years, it's been very similar each time, and this one's not really that different either. And for the most part, that's a good thing. Like the x360 model from HP has been really good. So, the last few years, it's been a 14-inch, 1080p device, pretty straightforward. And even, the one that came out in 2021 and 2022 looks so similar to one another that we made a video about the fact that they weren't the same Chromebook and that they were upgraded internals, and how to know which one you were buying so you didn't accidentally buy the wrong one. This one changes it up just a little bit, but overall the aesthetic looks very similar. And again, we just expected to see a Chromebook like this come out eventually from HP because their other ones have been so successful, and they've been on sale a lot. Like, I think as we're filming this right now, it may not be the case by the time you're watching this, but like the HP x360 14C from the last iteration was on sale for like $300 off, so it was like $400 or something. So HP stuck kept with the same price, a lot of the same specs too. So this one is $699. It's at Best Buy. Core i3, 12th gen this time, not 11th like the last one. It's got 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage, 2-part charging brick, not surprising. And this is a device that just brings, it's a bit of a mishmash. So you get some stuff that's like really high end. Fingerprint scanner is really nice to have on here. I want to say it's 1080p camera, 12th gen internals, 8 gigs of RAM, USI stylus support. It should have magnets on the side. Let's see. I feel like it's kind of trying to grab there. It doesn't appear. It kind of sticks there, but I don't think that's the intended use case there. I know the last couple years had a spot over here for HP's specific stylus to stick on there. This one doesn't seem to. And I don't know if that stylus just woke this thing up, but it's trying to do something. But we'll get into it here in just a second. On this side, we've got a single USB Type-C port, power, volume rocker, and then what looks to still be, if I can see that, a physical camera cutoff switch. Kind of thought they got rid of those, but the other ones have had it. Some of the Elite C1030 had it. It's kind of a cool switch. It's a physical cutoff for your camera. They've kept it on here again. Again, like I said, certain like high-end stuff they keep on this device. Micro SD card slot. Oh, now it's trying to magnetize to something. Micro SD card slot, USB Type-C here, headphone microphone jack, and then a USB Type-A. So a decent port arrangement. On the bottom, you do have fans, but they're, you know, that's not the worst set of fan ports I've ever seen, but it's a 12th Gen Core i3. There's also some fan ports here. And then they did change the hinge a little bit. It looks like they had like a weird indentation that kind of matched the crease here. They've gotten rid of that. I kind of liked it on the older models, but overall, this thing just looks clean and very like enterprise, and aluminum lid here for sure. I think it's a plastic bottom, and on the previous versions, the keyboard surround is also aluminum as well. So just a good looking Chromebook, and it's got this nice, you know, gunmetal-ish, like polished silver finish. Yeah, so you got an aluminum chassis up here too. So what that means is when I pick it up, it's not super bendy or anything. There's a tad bit of give in this chassis that we didn't have in the older 14Cs. And maybe some of that's why there's no magnets in here anymore. So it's relatively firm, but the reason this one's different is this is a 16:10 screen this time around. So on this model, instead of the standard 14-inch 16:9 screen, we've got a 16:10 full HD screen, which gives you room for a bigger trackpad. That is a massive looking trackpad, fingerprint scanner, upward firing speakers, backlit keyboard, and if history serves, this will be one of the better keyboard trackpad combos. We're going to try that out here in just a second, as well as looking at the screen and checking out the camera and all that kind of stuff. But I need to get logged in and get all that junk out of the way.
Do you want to activate Chromebox, the built-in screen reader for Chrome OS?
Sure don't, not right now. But I'm going to get signed in and get this thing set up, and then we'll go through a couple quick tests. All right, so after, you know, going through the whole setup process with this Chromebook, there's a lot to like here, and there should be. It's $699. So until it starts going on sale like crazy, you know, it needs to be good at quite a few things. The screen, unfortunately, this year, the same thing that we've kind of harped on with this Chromebook over the last few years is still here. It's a 250 nit screen, and we saw it right on the outside of the box, actually. And it was one of the things I was hoping was wrong in some of the early things that we saw about this Chromebook. I was hoping that because they went to a 16:10 screen that they maybe sourced a different panel for this one. It looks great. Like the viewing angles are really nice on it. But unfortunately, that it caps out at 250 nits. And it's just kind of a bummer because in a really well-lit room, it's going to struggle to kind of keep up. You're going to be getting a little bit more glare than normal. Next to a really bright window, you're going to really struggle, and outdoors, you're going to kind of be done for. So a bit of a bummer, especially with a screen that seems this nice on an overall device that feels this nice. I just don't understand why HP continues to do 250 nits on these screens, but in this lighting, cranked all the way up, it looks fine. It really does. It would be completely workable. So, you know, if you're not finding yourself in a bunch of varied lighting situations, it's probably not going to be that big of a deal for you. And then above that, we've got a 5 megapixel camera. I couldn't remember what the actual count was, but yeah, it's 5 megapixels, and it looks really good. So I'm gonna pull this up, and I'm gonna switch from me, who's really well lit, and I'm gonna switch it over back that way real quick. Oop, and you see the dynamic range on it picks up pretty quickly, and it's getting a lot of, you know, it's not crushing shadows all over the place. And so again, for these, you're looking for, you know, video calls and that sort of thing. This is going to be able to handle that really well. Also because these speakers finally, for a device outside of the Dragonfly Pro, which, you know, blew our mind with its speakers, this Bang & Olufsen branding on here, I feel like is actually going to stand for something, because like listen to the spoken volume here on Chromebook that you can buy. So let's talk about it. And that's pretty good. And it's loud and it's decently full. From the get, there's not a lot of low-end bass going on in that, but you know, it sounds pretty good. It's the best sounding HP Chromebook I've heard in quite some time, aside from the Elite Dragonfly and then the Dragonfly Pro. So kudos to them for kind of stepping up the speaker game a little bit. The keyboard and trackpad perform as well as I remember on other HP devices. Like the keyboard is really quiet and confidently clicky. And then the trackpad is huge. It's all glass. It's super duper smooth. Really quiet click, but very reassured. It's not flopping around. It just feels great. They've just done a great job at that over the last few years. It's backlit as well, which is always nice. The fingerprint scanner works, I mean, exactly like you'd expect. Let me get this locked, and you can see I mean, it's just a tap it and you're in. So I love that. I love capacitive fingerprint scanners. I think they should bring them back on cell phones. Put it on the back. It makes things easier. But whatever. They're fast. They're accurate. They're easy to set up. It's nice to have it here. For me, when it's down here like this, I like this position. You can set it. I didn't set my thumb up, but you can set your thumb up so as soon as you pick the device up, you just touch your thumb there and unlock it, which is really nice. Right now, the only thing really giving me pause about this Chromebook is the bit of flex we get in the bottom. Like I said, with the outgoing models, I feel like they were a little thicker, but they also felt a little more sturdy. The bottom portion of this is a little bit more flex to it than I would like, and I can almost hear the trackpad clicking in there if I really wrench on it. I don't love that. When it's all closed down, completely firm, because you got this glass and aluminum top here, so when I'm holding it like this, no question whatsoever, the bottom just feels a little bit more flexible than I would care to see. Obviously, with the X360 in the name, it is convertible if you want to use a big, huge 14-inch 16:10 tablet. But I think for most people, you know, having the ability to kind of prop it up this way is useful, and probably the way that you would go about using the convertible form factor here if you want to choose to do so. But overall, I like a lot of what this Chromebook's bringing to the table. I need to spend a little more time with it to see if, you know, is the flimsier chassis going to be a problem? Is the screen too dim? Because at $699, I think you've got to figure some of those things out. Like, you know, HP included stuff like that camera switch. So you can see kind of how that works here. We flip the switch. Let me get my hands on it. It's right there. So we flip the switch and the camera's off. Those are nice touches. A fingerprint scanner, it's a nice touch. A big glass trackpad, good speakers. Those are really nice touches. But, you know, do they make up for a 250 nit screen? Do they make up for a kind of flimsy feeling bottom half of the chassis? I don't know. Once I spend a little more time with it, I'll let you know. And like I said, this is a Chromebook that over the years has had the tendency after a few months in to go on sale across the board. And so that just changes the entire conversation all on its own. When this is a $350 or $400 Chromebook, you can forgive a lot of those things for those kind of prices. But overall, just need to spend a little bit more time with this, hopefully get a review out, and after I've, you know, figured out some of those things to see if it's worth $699, we'll be sure to let you know. But for right now, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, head down there, hit subscribe, and be sure to ring the notification icon as well if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. Till next time, we'll see you.